test. Namaste. Welcome to the Soma Matha online Sangha. Join us in practice for inner peace, which brings clarity in life, improving health, relationships, success, and prosperity, and which prepares the mind for true meditation, which awakens intuitive knowing and spiritual sight. Each week we are announcing upcoming events and opportunities to participate in the activities of the Soma Matha organization based near Richmond, Virginia. Led by Swami Gananath Tamritananda, the Soma Matha is dedicated to spreading authentic teachings on spiritual yoga, mantra, meditation, Ayurveda, and other Vedic sciences for the peace of the world. We are working to build a temple for goddess Shakambhari Devi. Each week we will be sharing a teaching from Swamiji, doing a group mantra practice and meditation, and conducting a simple puja or prayer ceremony for the goddess to humbly supplicate her to bestow her blessing upon the Sangha. A Sangha is a spiritual community who come together to support one another in their practice. Each individual gains strength in their practice from the collective effort of the group. Sangha feeds our practice. It nourishes us and empowers our efforts. It smooths and balances the challenges we face as it lifts our consciousness into subtler realms. I'm Grant Ottinger. I've been studying with Swami for a few years, and he's asked me to lead the Sangha since interconnection is bad at the property and live broadcast difficult. Swami will be watching the Sangha and participating in the group practices and sending video teachings for the group each week. We are encouraging all Sangha participants to formalize their connection by becoming Sangha members and pledging their monthly support through the Patreon. There are 5 different tiers of support, so you can contribute according to your ability. All Sangha members will receive access to additional teachings and opportunities for support in their practice, offered through Patreon. If you want to deepen your practice and your connection with the Sangha, please visit our Patreon and pledge your support. The link is provided in the description of the video. For news, the estate auction is now online. You can find the link below, which has all the information, and to view our items for sale and make bids. The auction ends soon on May 20th. We are still looking for volunteers to help prepare the property for sale. If you are interested, please reach out to us via our website, somamatha.org, listed below. With cases of COVID rising throughout the world and cases in India at an all-time high, Swami is asking people to light an oil or a key lamp and recite 108 repetitions of the Mahamrityunjaya mantra for world healing. If 108 repetitions is too much, please do whatever you can. Reach out to us via the website for questions about this practice. We are still continuing our fundraising efforts, both to fund recurring bills of the property and also to raise money for buying a new property suitable for a temple. So far, we have only raised about $20,000 of our goal to raise $300,000 by July 13th. Time is running out before we must move from this property into whatever space that is available with our funds. We would love to be able to move into a space suitable for worship, for growing plants, herbs, flowers, for taking care of the animals, but we can only move into such a space if we have the funds to do so. One way anyone can help is by donating just a small amount. Even a small amount connects you to us and us to you, connects you to Swami and the energy of the goddess. It is a very virtuous activity to help build a temple. In the past, rich nobles would provide funds for elaborate temple complexes and soaring churches, knowing wisely that such actions would not only benefit others, but also be of great benefit to themselves. So even a little money will help us all be connected in this virtuous action. Visit the Help Us Move link below to donate. And now we will share a recorded teaching from Swami.
So, before I start talking about these yamas that we'll talk about today, I'm going to talk a little bit again about the reason that the practice of yama and niyama is so very important in the practice of yoga. This is a step that a lot of people leave out nowadays. They just start with the 3rd step of this process that was given by Patanjali. They start with the asana practice. And a lot of people, I think, they only do the asana practice. And for some, it's not a problem. They do it just for physical exercise. It's maybe not the best physical exercise. But they may get some limited benefits from doing that. But there are others who they think that they can just do the asanas alone, and this will be a spiritual practice that will transform their lives and their consciousness. And generally, it's not enough. The asanas do have spiritual benefits, but there has to be some wisdom, has to be some knowledge of the effects of them, and probably the guidance of someone who knows what they're doing with them to really use the asanas to get deeper within or to release things and that sort of thing. And of course, if you're rushing through the asana sequence in a flowing way, you're not holding them long enough to get the benefits, really. And so the way yoga is practiced nowadays, generally, probably people are not getting much of the spiritual benefits. And when people go to a meditation group also, they may sit and meditate. And I've seen it many times. I've gone to a lot of the meditation groups and seen people who have been coming weekly and meditating for many years, and even meditating each day at home, and then they're still struggling with very simple, basic sort of problems, like a temper that gets out of control and they yell at their coworkers and get fired from their job. This kind of thing. And really, if someone's really meditating and doing a serious spiritual practice, that kind of thing should be dealt with relatively quickly. But ultimately, you've got to be trying to incorporate the wisdom that you come to in your meditations into your life. You have to have some wisdom. Yama and niyama practice gives us that wisdom. It gives us tools as things start to come up in our meditation to deal with those things. For someone who doesn't have the proper understanding, the proper perspective, and who doesn't have the tools to deal with things, meditation can be very dangerous. As they sit and try to meditate, a lot of intense subconscious stuff may start to come up for them. If they don't have the tools to process those after they've come up, they may wind up acting out even more and getting less balanced. Their life may start to fall apart around them. And a lot of people feel that way when they start to do a serious spiritual practice. Oh, things are getting worse. It was supposed to get better. Because they don't have the wisdom to understand what's happening. When we sit in meditation, if you sit silently, if the body is comfortable and the mind is still, when you sit in meditation, you'll feel peace, you'll feel bliss. You'll start to see the inner light. But if you sit in meditation and you're not having this experience, it's a sign there's subconscious stuff going on. What happens in meditation is we tap into a deeper level of consciousness. There are great studies they've been doing in some of the universities, Duke University, Harvard University, about the mind. They used to say that they thought people used about 10% of their brain. They've been hooking electrodes up to people's head and measuring the brain activity. They found a lot of people are using 3%, 5%, 6% of their brain. But then in some of these studies, they've been then getting meditation masters like Tibetan lamas or Hindu swamis to come. And they get them to meditate. And they hook the electrodes up to them. And they're using like 98, 99% of their brain while they're meditating. And so it really shows us there's something there. In meditation and yoga, we start to tap into the superconscious ability. We hear about the conscious mind, and we have a sense of that. That's what we're aware of, what we can remember, our beliefs that we're aware of, the common knowledge we can easily pull to our mind, what your name is, what your job is, what your address is. But then other information is in the subconscious. It's not so easy to access. It may not be accessible, but it's there somewhere. Maybe your previous address 5 years ago. You may not remember that, but somewhere it's stored in the subconscious mind. And the experiences, traumatic experiences, can be stored there as well. And our responses to them. And so for a lot of people in the subconscious, there's a lot of stuff. There are beliefs that are not based in reality. Maybe there are things we were told again and again as we were a child. You're not smart enough to do well. Men will always try to trick you. Girls get told that often, that kind of thing. So people are walking around with these beliefs that don't even necessarily correspond to reality. They pick some up from their experiences. Some of it's very stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. We don't even realize we're doing these things. If you were attacked by someone wearing a blue t-shirt, you may get afraid when you see people wearing a blue t-shirt. People will be acting out of these things. See someone in a blue shirt and they move to the other side of the room. They don't know why they're doing it, but they're doing it. Makes their life more complicated, less comfortable, less simple, less easy. But you don't know why. You don't know this stuff is going on, and you don't know why it's going on until you can tap into that in the subconscious mind. For someone who has a very clear subconscious mind, subconscious acts like a window or doorway to the superconscious. In the superconscious mind, we can tap into all kinds of information. Clear knowledge is there about the past and the present and the future. You can see people's auras. You can look at someone and see what they've been doing and what will happen to them in the future. You can look at someone and get a sense of what they're thinking. This kind of thing when you tap into that superconscious level of the mind, because on that level the mind has all these capacities and more. That level of the mind is beyond the physical body, beyond physical matter. When you're in that level of the mind, you can move the body to another space with the mind. This kind of thing is possible. But this aspect of our being, of our mind, we're not tapping into, we're not using. And the problem is we've got all this stuff in the subconscious. So if the subconscious is like a window to the superconscious, there's all these unresolved mental impressions stored in the subconscious. It will act like dirt or dust or cobwebs on the window, and it will obscure your vision into the superconscious reality. So the process of yoga is really the process of clearing that out and transcending the normal state of body consciousness, moving into this higher potential of human beings. Yama and niyama is very important because it helps us to start to accomplish that. It helps to sweep out the subconscious. We talked before about stealing, for example. If someone has stolen things, I was saying if you stole things even as a child, a lot of people as a child may have stolen some things. You may be carrying some guilt with you. Because of that guilt, which is subconscious, you'll be acting in a certain way. It will cause people to come and steal from you. If you can clear that out somehow. I made the recommendation at that time, okay, if you've stolen things, as much as possible, go back to that place. Say, I'm sorry, when I was a child I stole a pack of gum from your store. I'd like to pay you for that. I know that was wrong. I was a child, I'm sorry, I should not have done it. Here, take 50 cents. Maybe the gum cost 5 cents when I was a child. When you were a child, whoever is stealing this. I'm not sure I ever stole gum, but I've stolen things from a store as a child. All the other children were doing it, It seemed like it was a thing you were supposed to do. I think I knew on some level I shouldn't do it. But I went back to a store, I said, I stole some things. Okay, let me give you this money. They wouldn't take the money. I left the money there while they were not looking, just so I could be free from that. Maybe the guy took it, but no, that's his karma, not mine. He wouldn't take it. He said, we have no procedure for this. We can't take money. My cash register has to come up right. I can't put extra money into it. There's no system for this. I just left the money. I figured he could deal with that. He could find something to do. Give it to his manager, put it in his pocket, whatever he wants to do. It's not my problem any longer. And I don't know, I felt, I guess, perhaps less guilty. We can do these things. We can admit that things we've done were wrong. And as we do that and we make amends for them, we clear the subconscious. And as we start acting differently, even if you do that, it won't make any difference if you're still stealing things. I didn't mention before, we're getting into a very gray area with the internet. We have a lot of people stealing music, stealing movies, stealing TV shows, because it's so easy on the internet with these pirated sources to do that. And that's stealing as well. if people are stealing on an ongoing basis, then it'll be incurring karma, and really from the perspective of yoga, clogging up the subconscious. So it's not a matter of judgment. It's not a matter of morality necessarily. It's a matter of being clear within yourself.
Thank you, Swami. We finished our recitation of the Gayatri Mantra for Shakambhari Devi, and now for our Japam practice, we'll be doing the Devi Panchakshari. The Devi Panchakshari mantra is the 5-syllable mantra of the goddess. It is the same as the sacred Panchakshara mantra, Om Namah Shivaya, with the addition of the Shakti Bij Hreem. Someone watched the Sangha last week and they told me, so they said the 5-syllable mantra, and they said they were counting, and they think it was more syllables, the one that we were doing. So the 5-syllable mantra is Namah Shivaya, it's 5, and then we add Om Namah Shivaya, 6, and then it said here we add the Bij syllable Hreem, so that'll be 7. Om Hreem Namah Shivaya. So that's why it's called the 5-syllable, but there's some extra. It uplifts consciousness to the highest state of peace and bliss. It empowers our spiritual practices and grants liberation from all troubles. Though its literal meaning is Om, I bow to the goddess who empowers divine peace and consciousness, whose seed syllable is Hreem. True understanding of a mantra is in the spiritual experience it bestows to the seekers as it elevates their level of awareness through dedicated practice over time.
We will do 108 repetitions of the mantra. Om Hreem Namah Shivaya. 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 Om Hrim 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 Namah Shivaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Puja is a traditional system of offerings, coupled with mantras and visualizations, revealed by the sages to help people seek the assistance of divine beings in their lives and spiritual practice. Puja ceremonies can be simple, as in the case of the offerings made daily in the homes of millions of Hindus, or extremely complicated, as are the rituals of temple consecration, which require the participation of hundreds of devotees and dozens of well-trained priests. The oil lamps, fruits, flowers, water, herbal incense, and other offerings provide prana, or subtle nutrients, for the devas and other inner realm beings to send blessings to the physical realm. The sacred mantras open a channel to the inner realms. The effects of puja are powerful to bring about peace and healing. During puja, problems are mysteriously resolved and answers to difficult questions arise spontaneously by the grace of the many inner plane beings working to fulfill our prayers, empowered by the sacred mantras and offerings. We are conducting a simple Pancha Puja of 5 offerings. These offerings relate to the 5 elements and are Pushpa, a flower which symbolizes the ether element, Gandha, sandalwood paste connected to the earth element, Thupa, incense symbolic of the air element, Deepa, light symbolizing fire, and Naivedyam, food relating to water.
Om Adya Purvokta Evam Gunavisheshena Vishishtayam Asyam Shubhatithau Sri Soma Matha Sanghasya Asmakam Sah Kutumbhanam Kshemasthirya Virya Vijaya Ayura Roga Aiswaryanam Abhivriddhartham Shri Shakhambhari Devi Prasada Siddhyartham Yatha Shaktya Shri Shakhambhari Devi Pancha Pujam Karisye Om Apa Upasprisya Om Jata Veda Zezunavama Soma Marathi Hato Nidahati Vedaha Sanah Parshadati Durgani Vishvanaveva Sindhum Duritatyaknihi Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Asmin Chitrapathe Sri Shakambhari Devim Avahayami Sthapayami Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Gandhan Dharayami Gandhasyopari Haridra Kumkumam Samarpayami Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Pushpam Pujayami Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Dhupam Agrapayami Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Deepam Darshayami Om Amritamastu Amritopastaranamasi Om Pranaya Swaha Om Apanaya Swaha Om Vyanaya Swaha Om Udanaya Swaha Om Samanaya Swaha Om Brahmane Swaha Om Am Sham Shakambhari Devye Namaha Naivedyam Nivedayami Tambulam Nivedayami Amritapaniyam Samarpayami Om Yopam Pushpam Veda पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पम् पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति राजाधिराजायः प्रसय्य साहिने नमो वयं वाहि श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाह्यः मह्यम् कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो दधातु कुबेराय वैश्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः यो वेदादौ स्वरः प्रोक्तो वेदान्ते च प्रतिष्ठितः तस्य प्रकृतिलीनस्य यः परः स महेश्वरः नारायण्ये च विद्महे शाकम्भरे च धीमहि तन्नो देवी प्रचोदयाते ॐ आं शां शाकम्भरी देव्ये नमः ॐ भूर्भुवस्सुवः ॐ आवाहिताभ्यः सर्वाभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः वेदोक्तमन्त्रपुष्पाञ्जलिं समर्पयामि काले वर्षन्तु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्रह्मणा सन्तु निर्भयाः भगवतः सन्तु निर्भयाः सज्जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः सर्वे जनाः सन्तु निर्भयाः स्वस्ते प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु ऐं कार ह्रीं कार रहस्ययुक्ता श्रीङ्कारगूढर्थमहाविभूत्या ओङ्कारमर्मप्रतिपादिनेभ्यां नमो नमः श्रीगुरुपादुकाभ्याम् अज्ञाननाशनाय विद्महे ज्ञानप्रकाशाय धीमहि तन्नो गुरुपादुकाः प्रचोदयाते ॐ शतमानं भवति शतायुः पुरुषः शतेन्द्रिय आयुष्येवेन्द्रिये प्रतिष्ठति ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीदेव्यार्पणमस्तु
Namaste. Thank you for coming tonight. Remember to visit our Patreon, donate, and share the word about our upcoming move.